What? So let's start there. Like, why are you banned on Twitter? Let's start right there. Because honestly, I'm hearing Twitter banned, and I'm like, that's the last place in the world I think anyone's ever been reported to be banned. Because it's like,
there's just an active agenda against me right now. I don't think it's just YouTube and the social media platforms. I think it's the leftists who just don't like what I talk about. They're mass supporting everything. I have a strike on my channel at the same time. Twitter got suspended. Instagram's probably next. I don't know. I got to start preparing for the fact that they are actively trying to silence everything that I talk about.
Yeah.
And I got to be ready for that. I got banned on Twitter for saying I challenged Lasanabi to a fight, and I said, I'm going to break your face. And that's like violent conduct. But I thought that UFC fighters talk about that all the time. I'm going to fuck you up.
I guess maybe it's regular. In context. Maybe it's in context where they're like, oh, well, they're like,
I said, I challenge you to a boxing match. I weigh 160, you weigh 230. I'm still going to break your face.
Oh, okay. So that seems very reasonable. My question to you is like, what's your purpose in all of this? Like, why are you doing what you do?
I want to seek truth through funny. I always found that my favorite comedians, there was a level of truth to it. My favorite comedians are not just like being funny, being a clown, making dick jokes. Yeah. They're the reason that the stuff that I laugh at the most is stuff that's true. Like, it's funny because it's true. So my favorites are like Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle, Patrice O'Neal. Those people, or Bill Burr. The funniest bits and like the bits that I think about the most are just reveal a truth about the world, and in a way the joke connects it, and it can kind of debunk a whole topic with one joke.
So what got you thinking about comedy but through truth? Like, what made you start to think that way? Because of what you saw?
Yeah, just watching stand up when I was like 10 and just like, whoa, this is dope. Like just one guy alone on the stage, being able to get ahead of the whole audience, stuff like that. There's just the whole stand-up comedy in general. Just fell in love
Why
with that.
Why do you think you as just a human, you think you seek truth? Because that's a different, like, comedy is one thing, right? But like trying to seek truth through comedy is a completely different thing.
Because that's what's always the funniest thing is what's true. KSI, same thing. He's been like challenging me to a fight. Because KSI? I called him out. Yeah, KSI. Because well, he's got way more experience. He would win. But I called him out because he said, thank God Andrew Tate got banned. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You're literally, thank God someone got banned. Preying on someone's downfall. I called you out. Your name is KSI. Knowledge, strength, integrity. That's what his name stands for. Where's the integrity? You know what he said after people called him out for that? I was trolling. I copy and pasted it from TikTok. I was just joking. You weren't joking. You were following the mob. Logan Paul, same thing. I don't want to platform Tate by like even getting in the ring with him is platforming him, and it's furthering dangerous hate speech. Like, shut the fuck up. You both got canceled and now you're afraid. Logan Paul fame, everybody knows what happened, but this is what happens. Like, when they get deleted, they have an option. They can either double down and stay and just admit that, okay, I was just trying to make people laugh, or they can simp for the powers that be. They can be like, okay, I'll be a slave to you now. I don't want to get banned again. I want to eat. I want to stay on your platform. I'll do as you say.
Yeah.
Why are there no old people who are gender fluid?
I'm not, listen.
Why are all the gender neutral people Gen Z?
Listen, I don't have an exact answer for this.
There's been gay people before. But gender fluidity is just...
I don't know that though too. I also don't know that if there, I also don't know
there's
right
not,
now today.
There's no old gender fluid people.
How do you know that?
There's not one boomer saying, I'm non-binary.
Are you sure?
I am sure of that.
Are you sure?
No, that's an absolute, I could say there's not one
in the whole world.
Don't exist.
See, this is that, but I don't know. Bro, I don't know though.
Nah,
do you really know that though?
I know that for sure.
How? You talk to everyone in the world?
I've met every single boomer, yeah. They told me. They told me. I know.
This is what I'm saying. This is when it gets, that's when it gets dangerous.
If you could find me one, then I'm an asshole. And I apologize. I'm learning and growing. I've made mistakes. I'm a bad person.
No. Don't. I'm learning. I'm growing.
I'm growing.
No.
And I'm going to be better. That was the old me.
Yeah, you're so stupid.
And I'm sorry. Press the camera button.
No, see, but this is, the apology is funny. I think like the thing that I said earlier about the gender thing could be a reason why someone would be like, I want to cancel that guy because he's not respecting the thing that I'm growing in, right?
Fuck that, bro.
I'm just saying.
Like that's another bullshit Gen Z liberal idea. Like, you have to respect me. No, you don't. You need to earn respect. I don't know you. Just because you declare your pronouns to me, I'm going to change the language for you.
So I got to give you the opposing argument here is going to be like, you're absolutely right. I don't think someone needs to just respect someone just because they said they're this or they're that, right? But then we start talking about this concept of the platforms. Like, if someone could sit on a platform and use that platform and go like, hey, this is how I think, and the platform itself is like, yo, basically go fuck yourself, you're banned because we don't want you on our platform saying that shit. They do have the right to do that, right? That's the issue with it.
The problem is Logan Paul siding with that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Logan Paul siding with the programming.
Yeah.
How are you picking the powers that be? You're picking it because you want to stay in that system.
Financial gain.
Yeah, financial gain.
Yeah.
You don't want to get canceled again. You're afraid. He's
Yeah.
afraid of what happened to him. So he's like, okay, not again. No, please not again.
So yeah, this is like it's just a really weird time, man. And I like the reason why I brought you on is I really wanted to talk to you about this shit because I want to try to figure out a way, which I don't even think there's a fucking way, man. Genuinely, it's like we'll talk about this shift again. This like left, right, because the life is ultimately like we're trying to find balance. We're trying to find balance within ourselves, like who we are, what we want, what makes us happy, what makes us truly feel loved. All those things I feel like we're all individually trying, and
You're
we
right.
can't.
I
We
always
can't
feel like
go.
it all goes to the center, but everything, and especially online, has gone so far left that apparently now I'm a alt-right Trump supporter. I voted for Trump, but I've always considered myself to be kind of in the middle. Like I don't want to align myself with any political party, but they have taken it so far communist that here I am. Like I'm a right winger now.
So I'll tell you the time when I truly felt this was when I kept my gym open during the pandemic. The minute that I was like, wait a second, was when I have my gym in California in Woodland Hills, and the pandemic hits, and I look at everything, and I close my gym for a few months, and I because like right away, you know, like you see videos of like people dead and like on the floor in China, and I'm like, oh, this is the apocalypse. Like people are gonna be dropping like zombies. And then I wait a few months, and I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, everything's normal in a sense, and yeah, there's all these cases and all these things, and I start to look at it, I'm like, wait, like what is really going on here? And I'm like, okay, I learned a little bit more about the problem, COVID, right?
Careful.
Yeah.
I gotta strike.
So I started learning more about
the cocoa,
the issue, right? And then no, straight up, and then I'm like, wait, this thing could be like not fixed, but the way that it's affecting most people is through like your respiratory system.
Are you saying it's all bullshit?
No, this is the thing.
Are you saying it's all a hoax?
I'm saying it's a
Are you
real
saying it's made
thing.
in the lab?
No, I grew up without a father, right? I don't know if you knew that, but I grew up without a father, and and everyone talks about, because I've talked about this a few times on podcasts. I'm not trying to just make this a thing that I talk about on the podcast. I'm not going to fucking cry about it, but I want to say this because my father killed himself. He hung himself. So I have a fucking bitch. I have a very fuck.
Sorry, man.
Fuck, I hate this shit every time. I have a very strong feeling for this. So
It's good that you talk about it. It helps a lot of people.
yeah, motherfucker. I have a very strong feeling for this. So during this time, right, you start hearing about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, what is the one thing? Motherfucker. Oh shit, my bad. The one thing that like genuinely fucking bitch changed my life and allowed me to fucking not be dead. Oh shit. Fuck. And that was the gym. Okay? And not just because of the gym itself, but because the people that I met in the gym, the conversations that I had in the gym, the relationships that I built in the gym, the father figures that I met in the gym that I was seeking my whole life.
You could tell. I mean, you motivated me a lot growing up. Like you were one of the biggest inspirations I had to get in there. I think you inspired a lot of people.
And yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm really sorry. This is tough for me.
No,
So
don't worry about it, man.
This whole thing, the reason why I stood so strongly was because that was my life. And if I'm looking through this lens of like my 17-year-old self, not only all this health benefits that are super essential to beat this thing, but the mental health that comes along with the gym and the camaraderie and the friendship and the group and like the learning and the growing and everything that it did for me and my 17-year-old self, where I was in a point where I was like, the fuck's the point of life?
Gym saved you.
Saved my life. And I'm looking through this lens of like, you know, a successful guy. I got YouTube. I have my own gym. I did all this stuff that I've always wanted to do. I know these cool people. And then I'm looking like, who the fuck would I be? I'm trying to imagine myself. I close down a gym. Who knows what 17-year-old is in my gym who's feeling the same fucking way that I felt, that
They can't go.
they can't go now.
And now they can get alcohol and cigarettes, though. That's how they're going to cope.
And that motherfucker ends his life because he doesn't have that situation. That's truly the thing that like made me say, okay, I don't care. This is what I believe, and I drew that line, and I didn't care what came next. I didn't care how people felt about it. I felt like this is 100% the right thing to do, and anything else would be the wrong thing to do.
Oh, shout out to Raw. Before you say that, like, shout out to Raw Talk. I especially wanted to come on this podcast because the Full Send podcast, like, they get great guests and everything, but the questions they ask are just so mid. Like, how many birds you smash, Elon Musk? Like, what the like, it's very low level. It's just simple stuff. What, boxers or briefs? Like, you know, like I want to hear something. They had Lil Durk on. They're like, oh, like that guy Bob Menery, some fucking terrible interviewer. No offense to the guy. Like he's like, hey, there's a lot of chains you got on. How much they cost? Shut the fuck up. Did you do any? Why are you interviewing Lil Durk? You don't know what you. There's no conversation you can have. But you actually have. You are a genuinely curious person, and that's why I'm glad that you talked a lot about critically thinking, because I could tell listening to it, the stuff that you've asked. Even with the business owner in Miami, I don't remember his name. You could tell that you're genuinely curious, and it kind of reminds me of what makes the Joe Rogan podcast good, is because you could tell that you actually want to learn. You're not doing this to be on camera and to be like, hey, I'm a YouTuber, might as well start a podcast. You actually want to learn something from this and have real conversation. It's a fitting name to have Raw Talk, and that's why you're a good interviewer. That's why most of them, like I'm not trying to diss the Nelk Boys and everything. I watch all the Nelk Boys videos.
Yeah,
bro, the interviewers, bro, you need to step your game up, man. It's very, come on, like, I'm saying some wild shit.
No,
am I burning bridges?
I've read a lot of comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.